too. This is a really important question. So that's
going to persist and
House, how are they going to start building up
effect in 29 days?
Every single month for the rest of your life. Most people have never heard of it. It hides in the fine print of the Canada Pension Plan. It is easy to overlook because the numbers look small at first glance. And yet the people who understand how it works are collecting a little bonus that keeps arriving year after year. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what this benefit is, how much it actually pays, who qualifies for it, and whether it is truly worth it to keep working while you are already drawing your pension. Stay with me because by the end you will see why a number that looks tiny on paper can add up to something that genuinely matters. Let us start with the basics because this is where a lot of confusion begins. Many Canadians grow up believing that once you start collecting your CPP retirement pension, that is it. The amount is locked in. It rises a little each year with inflation, and nothing else you do can change it. That belief is understandable, but it is not the full picture. The truth is that if you keep working after you begin receiving your pension, and if you keep making contributions to the Canada Pension Plan, the government does not simply pocket that money. It rewards you for it. That reward is called the post-retirement benefit, and most people will never hear those three words spoken out loud by anyone at their bank or their workplace. Here is how it works in plain language. Once you have started collecting your CPP retirement pension, but you are still under the age of 70 and still earning employment income, you continue to pay into the plan just as you did during your working years. Every year that you make a valid contribution while already receiving your pension, you earn a brand new post-retirement benefit. That new benefit is added on top of your existing pension. It does not replace it. It stacks on it. And here is the part that surprises people the most. Each year that you keep working generates its own separate benefit, which means you can end up collecting several post-retirement benefits at the same time, all layered together, all landing in your account as part of your monthly deposit. Now let us talk about the number that everyone wants to know because this is where things get interesting. For 2026, the maximum post-retirement benefit for a person age 65 is $54.69 per month. That is the absolute top amount, reserved for someone who reached the CPP earnings limit and made the maximum contribution the year before. The average is much more modest. The average new post-retirement benefit for someone age 65 sits at $11.93 per month. So when you hear about this benefit, do not picture a giant windfall arriving in your account. Picture something smaller and steadier, closer to the cost of a couple of coffees or a modest lunch each month. I know what you might be thinking right now. $11 a month or even $54 a month hardly sounds like the kind of thing that changes anyone's retirement. And if you stop the conversation there, you would be right to feel a little underwhelmed. But this is exactly where most people make their mistake. They look at the monthly figure, they shrug, and they move on. What they fail to do is think about the one word that turns this small number into something meaningful. That word is lifetime. Here is the truth that changes everything.
Yesterday we saw some general strokes from President Trump on the new tariff items he's going to be targeting in 2020.
The post-retirement benefit is not a one-time payment. It is not a bonus that shows up once and then disappears. Once you earn it, it is added to your pension, and it keeps paying you for the rest of your life. It also gets adjusted over time to keep pace with the cost of living, just like the rest of your CPP. So that small monthly amount is not really a small monthly amount at all. It is a small monthly amount multiplied by every single month you have left. Let us do some honest arithmetic. Imagine you earn an average post-retirement benefit of around $12 a month. Over 1 year, that is roughly $144. Over 10 years, you are looking at well over $1,000 from a single year of working. And that is before you even account for the inflation adjustments that push the amount higher along the way. Now let us make it even more powerful because this is where the real magic happens. Remember that each year you keep working generates a new benefit, so it is not just one small stream. If you work for several years past the start of your pension, you build layer upon layer. One benefit from this year, another from the next, another from the year after that, all of them stacking, all of them paying you for life, all of them rising with inflation. A person who keeps working from 65 to 70 could end up with 5 of these benefits running side by side. Suddenly, the picture looks very different from that lonely $11 figure we started with. What looked tiny at the start begins to look like a quiet, reliable, permanent raise on your pension. Let me explain why the maximum is set where it is, because understanding this helps you understand the whole system. The maximum post-retirement benefit is equal to 2.5% of the maximum CPP retirement pension. That works out to 1/40th of the full pension. The reason it is so much smaller than your regular pension is simple. Your regular CPP retirement pension is built from all the contributions you made across your entire working life, from the time you were young all the way up to the day you retired. That is decades of contributions rolled into one payment. The post-retirement benefit, on the other hand, is built from just a single year of contributions. 1 year cannot possibly match a lifetime of them, so naturally the amount is a fraction of the whole. When you look at it that way, $54 a month from a single year of work is actually a fair and reasonable return. There is another detail worth knowing, and it makes the benefit feel a lot more personal. The exact amount of your post-retirement benefit is directly tied to how much you earned and contributed in that year. If you hit the maximum earnings limit, you get the maximum benefit. If your earnings were only half of that limit, then your post-retirement benefit will be about half of the maximum as well. So this is not a flat, one-size-fits-all number handed to everyone. It rewards you in proportion to the work you actually did and the contributions you actually made. The more you earn, up to the limit, the bigger the benefit you unlock for the rest of your life. Now, there is an age boundary you need to keep in mind, and it is an important one. This benefit only accumulates while you are under the age of 70. Once you reach 70, you stop contributing to the Canada Pension Plan entirely, even if you keep working. At that point, you no longer earn new post-retirement benefits. This is actually consistent with the broader design of CPP, because 70 is the age at which the plan says there is no more financial advantage to be gained by continuing to delay or contribute. So if this benefit interests you, the window of opportunity runs from the moment you start your pension right up until your 70th birthday. That is your span. Every working year inside that window is a chance to earn one more lifelong top-up. So far, this all sounds like good news, and in many ways it is. But I promised you an honest conversation, and an honest conversation means we need to weigh both sides. Working while collecting your pension is not automatically the right choice for everyone. There are real advantages and there are real trade-offs, and the smart move is to understand both before you decide. Let us start with the advantages because they are genuine. The most obvious one is the extra income while you work.
A much more prominent presence in London. And it signaled our desire to work more closely with the United Kingdom. Because Canada...
You are collecting your pension and earning a paycheck at the same time, which for many seniors provides a comfortable cushion and a sense of financial security. On top of that steady income, you are also building those post-retirement benefits, quietly increasing your lifelong pension in the background. There are also the benefits that have nothing to do with money at all. Many people find that continuing to work keeps them mentally sharp, socially connected, and gives structure and purpose to their days. For some, retirement without work feels less like freedom and more like an empty calendar. And staying employed is as much about well-being as it is about the dollars. But now let us look at the other side of the coin, because it would be irresponsible to only tell you the good parts. The first thing to understand is that those contributions you keep making are still coming out of your paycheck. You are paying into the plan, and while you get the post-retirement benefit in return, the amount you receive back each month is small compared to what you put in during that year. For some people, especially those who do not expect to live many more years, the math simply does not favor continuing to contribute. The benefit pays for life, but if that life is expected to be short, the total return shrinks. There is a second consideration that catches many seniors by surprise, and it has to do with taxes. Every dollar of CPP you receive counts as taxable income. That includes your post-retirement benefit. If you are already earning a salary and drawing your pension, all of that income adds together, and it can push you into a higher tax bracket. It can also affect other income-tested programs. This is the part people forget. Your total income from every source combined can climb high enough to trigger a reduction in your old age security through the recovery tax, often called the clawback. If your income crosses the threshold, a portion of your OAS gets pulled back for every dollar above that line. So in some situations, the extra income from working could reduce a different benefit you were counting on. It is not a reason to avoid working, but it is absolutely a reason to look at your whole financial picture, rather than just one piece of it. There is also the simple question of whether you want to keep working at all. Money is only one part of a retirement decision. Your health, your energy, the demands of the job, and the life you actually want to live all matter enormously. The post-retirement benefit is a nice reward for staying in the workforce, but it should never be the reason you keep working past the point where you are ready to stop. Think of it as a bonus for people who are already choosing to work, not as a leash that keeps you tied to a job you would rather leave. So how do you decide what is right for you? Let me give you a simple way to think it through. Ask yourself first whether you are working because you want to or need to, regardless of this benefit. If the answer is yes, then the post-retirement benefit is pure upside, a lovely little extra that stacks up for life while you carry on with something you were going to do anyway.
The prospect of the bridge reopening later this month, or opening later this month. This is good for Canada, good for the United States, both in the short term and the long term.
If, on the other hand, you are only considering working in order to chase this benefit, then slow down and run the numbers carefully. Consider your expected years ahead, your tax situation, and whether the modest monthly amount justifies the contributions and the potential effect on your old age security. For many people, the benefit is worth it. For others, it is a wash. The point is that you should decide with your eyes open. Let me also clear up a few things that people often get wrong about this benefit, because myths spread fast when a program is not well understood. The first myth is that you have to apply for it. You do not. The post-retirement benefit is calculated automatically based on your contributions, and it is added to your pension without you having to fill out a special form each year. If you contributed while working, it simply appears. The second myth is that it somehow reduces your regular pension. It does not. It is added on top. Your base pension stays exactly as it is, and the post-retirement benefit sits beside it as an additional amount. The third myth is that it is a huge, life-changing sum. As we have discussed honestly, it is not. It is a small but permanent addition, and its value comes from consistency and longevity, not from size.
We must make, because we are meeting in the middle of a transformation that will define our...
Now I want to zoom out and put this in the bigger context of your retirement, because the post-retirement benefit is really a symbol of a larger idea. The Canada Pension Plan is designed to reward participation. The more years you contribute, and in some cases the longer you delay, the more you receive. This benefit is just one more expression of that principle. It tells you that your working years are never wasted, even the ones that come after you have officially retired. Every contribution you make is being counted, tracked, and turned into a lifelong stream of income, no matter how small each individual piece might seem. That is a comforting thought, especially for people who worry that once they retire, the system stops caring about the work they still do. Here is my honest closing take on all of it. The post-retirement benefit is not going to make you rich. Anyone who tells you otherwise is exaggerating. But it is a real, guaranteed, inflation-protected, lifelong addition to your pension that you earn simply by continuing to work and contribute during a certain window of your life. For the person who is already working in their late 60s, ignoring this benefit would be leaving free money on the table. And for the person weighing whether to keep working, it is one more factor to place gently on the scale alongside health, happiness, taxes, and the life you actually want to lead. So let me leave you with the big idea to carry away from all of this. Do not judge a benefit by its monthly number alone. Judge it by what it becomes when you multiply it across all the months and years you have left. A tiny bonus that keeps paying, that rises with the cost of living, and that stacks year after year. is far more valuable than a single flashy payment that comes once and vanishes. Small and permanent almost always beats big and temporary. That is the quiet lesson hidden inside this little-known corner of the Canada Pension Plan, and now that you know it, you can make a smarter, more informed decision about your own retirement. If you found this helpful, take a moment to think about your own situation. Are you still working while collecting your pension? Are you inside that window before 70 where every year of work earns you another lifelong benefit? These are the questions worth sitting down with, because the seniors who understand the fine print are the ones who quietly come out ahead. Knowledge like this is exactly what separates the people who simply receive their pension from the people who truly maximize it. Take what you have learned here, look at your own numbers, and make the choice that gives you both the income and the life you deserve.